So awesome to be here with all of you today talking about commitment, the C word. Oh my gosh. There's other C words too, right? But commitment is the word of the day. And I'm not talking about, like commitment in terms of like marriage, or something like that. I'm talking about how committed are you to your dreams, your vision, your goal, to getting the results that you want in your life, in your business, whatever it is that you're doing, that's important to you. How committed are you? Not only how committed are you, but we're going to talk today about not only what you're committed to, but what gets in the way of commitment and following through, how to overcome the obstacles to bringing that energy of full commitment that is so powerful in the manifestation and creation process. And really how to do commitment right. Because there are a whole lot of ways to do it, quote, wrong, or I should say ineffectively and inefficiently, or less efficiently and effectively than it could be done. So I'm going to be covering it all in today's live stream. Hi, Bobby. Thanks for being here. Great to see you. So make sure that you pop your questions in the comments. In order for me to see your comments as we're doing the live stream, they do need to be on, I'm broadcasting today on my Facebook profile page, because this is decidedly not businessy, but it is businessy at the same time. You can apply this to any area of your life, business, personal, etc. And that's why I'm doing it from my profile page today. So in order to see your comments, they have to be on that post. Otherwise, I'll come back and answer them after the replay, after this is done, if you have questions. So definitely pop those in there. So if you don't know who I am, real quick, Christine Parma, I help you, keep your commitments. That's a way to sum it up, right? I help you move past the blocks and behaviors that keep you from really stepping into full alignment into creating the results that you want. Simply put, you can read a lot longer about what I do at christineparma.com, but really help you get the results that you want in your life is the bottom line, whether it's in business or more personal aspects of your life. A lot of belief change work in there, a lot of spiritual work, a lot of practical steps and strategies that I bring to working with my clients. So you can always find out more about me at christineparma.com. So let's dive into this. Like, why am I talking about this? Well, number one, it's really up for me in my awareness right now. And the truth is that if you're living life and you're choosing to live life from the aspect or from the point of view that you are a conscious creator of your life, at least even if you're partially committed to that perspective that you want to consciously create your life, meaning you have, say, goals for yourself or a vision for yourself, or you're working on something and you want to see a certain outcome happen, then commitment is key. Commitment is totally key in you getting any results. Because if you're not committed, what happens? You show up with a wishy-washy, 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of energy. You constantly question yourself. You second guess your decisions. You doubt your ability to get those results. And it kind of is a vicious cycle, because when you're doubting your ability to follow through, questioning the results that you're getting, you're not seeing what you want show up, then it feeds back into the cycle of, well, am I really committed to this? So what does full commitment really require? What does commitment require? Well, it requires you making a decision. And in order to make a decision that is truly aligned with what you want, and sticking to a commitment to make it easier for yourself, that commitment really has to be clear and free of fears, beliefs that might get in your way, things that could pop up as obstacles on your path to getting that outcome. Is this making sense? Say yes in the comments if it's making sense to you. And so where I'm really going with this is that there are so many things that can trip you up in commitment. And a lot of times people will they think they're really committing to something, but it's really more like a sort of half-assed commitment to something because they're really not sure about what they're committing to from the aspect of, do I really want this? You can look at a lot of things in your life, and the first question you should be asking yourself is, do I really want this result, this outcome that I think I want? Do I really want it? Is it really aligned with who I am, where I want to go? If it's you really want it, but there's something that's feeling off, then you need to look at, well, what's stopping me here from fully committing to getting this outcome and doing those actions that are required, changing your perspective or your mindset or your beliefs that need to be changed in order for you to be fully engaged and committed to creating that outcome. So, the first key is you got to be really clear on, are you committing to the right things for you? And it really is a personal thing. And because what is right for you is not necessarily right for me or for anybody else, right? And it all depends on what you want to create. So what is it that you want? It comes back to that Jay question, right? What is it that you want? And then once you decide what you want, what are you committed to doing that? Do you really feel like, yes, I truly want this 100% with my full being, and that's where the commitment comes from, or lack of commitment. And I'll give you a perfect example that's real time in my life right now on the personal side. So right now I'm really hungry. And I'm really hungry right now. I feel these gnawing pains in my stomach because I am engaged and have committed to doing full-on keto lifestyle, diet, whatever you want to call it, for 30 days during this challenge that I'm engaged in. And I actually wanted to up my level of commitment because I'd kind of been trying it before this 30-day period. And I wanted to up my level of commitment by paying for support and being part of a challenge. That was a bigger step of commitment for me. Part of the commitment that I have made is to show up 100%, really, and do it for real. And part of that is that I'm not eating, it's my morning, until about 10:30 in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning for intermittent fasting. Whether or not you agree with that or not, when you think about it from the question of commitment, when I am feeling hungry and I'm doing a live stream and talking to you about commitment, I really have to be committed to what I want as the result from changing up my diet in this way in order to deal with the hunger that I'm feeling right now. Lots of mental stuff has come up for me, lots of mental blocks, fears, fears around feeling deprived, feeling like eating this way is a sacrifice, like I'm, just even like body DNA stuff, like, oh my gosh, you're starving yourself to death, right? So it's kind of this battle that's been going on between my mind and my heart about what I want to commit to for at least 30 days to see and to know if this really works for me, is really where I'm going with this. Is this way of eating beneficial to my body? Is it beneficial to my mind, to my mental clarity, to my just the feeling of energy that I have. And that is the keto promised land, right? You're supposed to have more energy, more mental clarity, more focus, aside from all the, you may drop, pounds or, a bunch of weight or something. You can see I don't have that much to lose. I have a few pounds I'd like to lose, but that's not my goal, right? That's not my end result that is, empowering me and really supporting me in being committed to eating in this way. And so right now, as I'm sitting here really hungry, I'm like questioning my commitment, right? The obstacles pop up. think about a goal that you have. And actually, pop in the comments, what's a goal that you have? What's a result that you want to create in your life or in your business right now? Because that's the end result that you want. And it has to be really compelling and aligned with what you truly want and who you want to be and who you're becoming in order to really power that level of commitment, so that when you're, metaphorically sitting there really hungry and all your mental stuff is coming up, your fears around not having enough food, or in my case, being deprived, sacrifice, feelings of sacrifice. This has really been even more than just a change up in my diet. It has been a great eye opener for me around certain patterns and beliefs that are running in the background of my life, in my mind, and how they get triggered. Because it's when we feel triggered by something that happens, the circumstance. In my case, my circumstance right now is I'm eating in a different way than I was. And just for total clarity, I was coming off a paleo type of diet before, so I didn't think the transition would be that hard to keto. Wow, okay, it's been a little more challenging with my stuff coming up than I anticipated. But it's been a real eye-opener for all the stuff that's running in the background, and I am really feeling blessed that it's coming up because I'm getting to see it, number one, and address it, because it impacts not only the way I'm eating right now and how my level of commitment to giving this a real shot for 30 days, but where it's impacting every other area of my life. Where is feelings of sacrifice and deprivation, and feeling like I have to work really hard and it's not fun, where is that showing up in other areas of my life? Where do I need to clear that and heal that in order for my entire life to move more easily and effortlessly and more quickly towards the outcomes that I want to create for myself? Bobby gives a thumbs up. Michelle says, you look and feel amazing. Thank you. Are you talking about keto? Are you doing keto, Michelle? I'm curious. Because I'll tell you, I have not felt amazing. In all transparency. So I've officially been doing this challenge. What am I on? Like day 8 of this challenge or something? There's been some days and times where I have not felt amazing. Like, I feel pretty good right now, except for the hunger, like at this very moment. I'm speaking specifically of keto. But, look at what you're committing to in different areas of your life. There are going to be times when you don't feel so great about whatever it is that you're wanting to create. Let's take, a personal goal or a business goal that you're wanting to create. Say you want to grow your business, because I work with entrepreneurs. And there are going to be times when you're feeling like tired and like, ugh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to write the sales page. I don't want to make the phone calls. I don't want to do the live stream because I'm hungry. Things like that, And that's when your level of commitment is so critical. So what are you committed to? What are you committed to? Do you know? Have you sat down and really thought about it and written it out? Georgia, you're watching. Georgia's awesome. Thank goodness for coaches. I mean, really, this is a huge reason that I joined Georgia's challenge, because I was not seeing the results that I wanted to, doing it on my own, and I was getting wishy-washy in my commitment. So when you have somebody else that you've made a commitment to, or a group of somebodies that you've made a commitment to, it really supports you in sticking to your guns, right? Sticking to your commitment and seeing something through. Because Georgia and I have been chatting quite a bit about the stuff that's coming up for me around the keto way of eating. And she has been awesome, And Georgia, just so you know, was in my Akashic Records this morning, and I was asking about all this stuff. And it's amazing what came up, the sacrifice, the deprivation, where that comes from. I won't go into that too much, but and Michelle says my energy is really strong. Awesome. Michelle is one of those awesome people who can see energy and auras and that sort of thing. So I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. And that's part of it, because I look at where I want to take my life in general. And I've been going through a lot of transitions, and if you've been tagging along with me on the journey, you've been witness to some of what's happening. And part of where I want my life to go and who I'm stepping into becoming and up-leveling my energy level, there's a different way that I want to support my physical body. And I'm naturally being drawn in that direction. And I'll tell you, in Georgia, if you're still watching, I looked at Georgia's challenge many times, the page, many times, and I'm sure you can relate to this. Tell me if you can relate to this. So yes, if you can relate to this, where you have this feeling like, this is something I need to do. This is something I want to do. This is an action that is required for me to get the result or the outcome that I really desire. But I'm feeling a little scared of it. I'm feeling a little unsure. So like you may look at a sales page many, many times. You may look at, a book or a resource. You may buy a book and then not read it, but you're feeling drawn to it. And so you go back to it again and again and again. And I visited Georgia's 30-day Veg Keto Challenge page, I don't know, probably 10 times and closed it. And I was like, oh, I keep feeling like I have to go back to this. Like there's something there for me. And if nothing else, in my life thus far, I have learned that if something keeps coming up and it keeps niggling in your brain and you keep thinking about it, you need to pay attention to it. There is something there for you. It may be something that is really obvious, like, okay, I know I'm procrastinating about doing this thing, and this person can help support me in getting this thing done. Or it may be, that may be the surface level thing. Usually if you're feeling drawn back to something, there is a lot deeper learning there than appears to you on the surface. And it is totally what I'm getting from this challenge that I'm in. It is really bringing a whole lot of awareness around myself, around my level of commitment to what I want, around what I want in general. So it has been like way beyond keto. I think there was a lot of intention that Georgia held for that. And I think that's why I was drawn back to her and her energy and the energy of this challenge. But in general. So Elizabeth says you're radiating goddess, keto goddess in there. And Elizabeth, thank you for being the inspiration for this. It's changing my perspective in a whole lot of ways. Michelle says, good for you for making the sacred commitment to yourself. Yeah. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today. It's like, what are you sacredly committed to creating in your life? And then when these obstacles pop up, whether it's, for me, physical hunger, whether it's the fears of, sacrifice and feelings of deprivation, feeling like it's going to be too hard, what do you do with that? And what I really want to stress here is that commitment, like don't equate commitment with I've got to work really, really hard and make commitment the sacrifice. Like don't put that energy of sacrifice around the commitment, because you can come from commitment in that way and you will resist very much being committed to whatever that thing is that you want to create, because sacrifice never feels good. Sacrifice never feels good. Deprivation never feels good. And what I was getting from my Akashic records this morning is, how can you make this fun? How can you make this enjoyable? How can I make this commitment to keto in other areas of my life? How can I make it feel good and aligned with myself? And for me, that takes clearing out some energy, changing some perspective shift opportunities are really big when you start committing to something, and aligning very much with what I want to create. Getting really, really, really clear on that. Let's see what else I want to cover. So when these bumps in the road, shall we say, come up, one of the favorite things that Elizabeth says, that's my favorite, is what's the story? What's the story you're telling yourself? What are you making it mean? What's really at play? When I was really getting into this, and it was pretty came pretty quickly into my awareness what, for me, what was going on around the sacrifice and the feelings of deprivation. You can go deeper into that. Like, what's the root cause of that? Where have you felt deprived, or like you're sacrificing in order to get something that you want in the past? And what's the opportunity there for you to change your perspective or your belief around that? What conclusions did you draw that you, at the time that you were feeling like sacrifice or deprivation, that are currently impacting your ability to be committed right now to what you want and take action on what you want right now? And what do you want to do about it? What do you want to do about it? And here's the thing, is it's totally okay for you to decide, like, you thought you wanted something, and then if you're really honest with yourself, that you don't, right? That's another thing I want to give you permission about, is if a lot of times I think we can create big goals and really go into overdrive and hard work because we're creating goals and dreams based on what we think we should be doing, what society tells us we should be doing, expectations of other people. And so we feel like we have to do these things. And that can make commitment feel really difficult, really hard, because it's not your heart that's in it so much as you trying to, it's more like an exercise in you trying to measure up, right? And it comes from scarcity mindset and lack of self-worth, and you trying to prove yourself. I'm very familiar with this pattern, just so you know. If you're familiar with it, say, yep, I got you, your yes in the comments. So instead, like, if you're noticing that you're having trouble committing to something, it goes back to, like, where is it, am I basing what I am saying I want, what I am saying I desire, my goals, on what's truly aligned for me, or somebody else's expectations, or somebody else's story, or beliefs that I may have picked up in my childhood or at another time that no longer serve me? And that takes introspection, right? That takes diving in. That's where it's awesome to have a coach or a group of people to reflect that back to, because you may discover that what you thought you wanted is not really what you want. And that's totally okay. You may have thought, I want the 7-figure business, and right now you're like, become very aware of, no, I really don't want that, or yes, I want it, but right now I'm in the place where I'm coming from a belief where I have to work really, really hard and sacrifice for that, and I don't want sacrifice and really hard work, and it's totally out of alignment. And so being okay with the space of where you are and what you need to change and shift in order to move, to let that go, the stuff that's not serving you, so that you can step fully into committing to what you want to create. And whatever it is, totally without judgment around whatever it is that you truly want, as long as you really know, like, what's aligned for you, so that you can commit from a place that really feels good. So I just declare right now in the comments, what's something that you're really, really committed to creating? Like, what's something that is truly aligned for you, that you're committed to creating, you're committed to doing, a way of being, could be even a way of thinking, that you're committed to thinking from a place of possibility and opportunity, and you're committed to loving yourself and not judging yourself as you go through life. Wow, like, that should be a commitment that we all, I said should, didn't I? But whatever, that we should make for ourselves, self-love, and not judging ourselves or others harshly, but really the self-love. So I challenge you to make that commitment to yourself. How about that? Challenge you to make that commitment to yourself. It is definitely a commitment that I have made for myself, and the journey that I am on and where I want to go in my life. Self-love is absolutely crucial and critical, and it's really the path to a whole lot of things that you want. Combine that with commitment, clarity on what you want, feeling aligned in those commitments, and then following through with aligned actions. And you've got a potent mix for creating whatever it is that you want. Hey, and looky there, I'm not hungry anymore. The good energy can override the obstacles, right? Michelle says, I'm committed to stepping into your higher level work. Yeah. And what is that higher level work? You know, I mean, you'll have to type that all in here, but I know you know, Michelle, what your higher level work is. But yeah, and if you don't know what your higher level work is, then be committed to staying open to the awareness of it, of knowing what that is, of it coming in and keeping that perspective, because just keeping your awareness open will bring in so much into your life. So that's what I have for y'all today. So, if you want support or someone to help you reflect back to you what your commitment level is, what's getting in the way of you following through on your commitments, help you become aware of beliefs that need to change and then change them, really helping you to step forward in a way towards what you want that is in true alignment with who you are, with coming from a place of feeling good and not sacrifice and deprivation and overwork, just pop me a message and we'll chat about it, how I might be able to support you in doing that. And I challenge you to decide today, what are you really committed to? What is in true alignment for you to be committed to? And then if you're feeling struggle around making that commitment, what's the story there? What are you telling yourself? What are the fears that are getting in the way? And then diving in full on and into how you can move past those fears and obstacles so that you can step into the highest level and most beautiful version of yourself and the beautiful life that you're meant to have here. So I wish you many, many blessings, and I will see y'all next time on the live stream. Take care. Bye.